Welcome back, everybody, to the OPT Network. You know how we love sharing stories, and one of the things that we do all the time is try to look for those people that are living their dream. And anytime you can find a young person who is so deeply connected to what they love, it's worth sharing. Our guest this morning is Savannah Ward. She is a native Alexandrian, and she's a student at LSUA. She's also a writer. She has written her first novel entitled I'm Not Crazy. Savannah, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Indeed. So, Savannah, your life starts off miraculously as you're born at 1.5 pounds and probably maybe not even expected to live by doctors and maybe your parents. Tell us that story.
Well, I was born 1.5 pounds micro premature at 24 weeks, and I had 1 heart surgery and 3 eye surgeries. And I stayed in the hospital for over 3 months. And then when I finally left the hospital, I was in and out of doctor's offices for the first at least 5 years of my life.
So 1 heart surgery and 3 eye surgeries.
Yes, ma'am.
So when are you old enough for your parents to start to tell you what a miracle you are? Do you remember?
They would tell me this every single day as far back as I can remember. How miraculous my birth was and how amazing it is that I'm even walking and talking and breathing.
Mm-hmm. And when did you know, when did you make that connection that what a miracle was and, everything that you had gone through? When were you old enough to kind of understand that?
Probably around, I would say 10 to 12 years old.
Mm-hmm. Now, did your parents have other kids after you?
I have 1 little brother.
Mm-hmm. And so you got the story. And does that, now that you're a freshman in college now that you're really old enough to understand the story, how do you process that now? And does that do anything for your faith as a young woman?
Absolutely. I'm still in shock. And just to know that I was not expected to live very long, I just know that God put me on this earth for a reason, and writing this book is one of those reasons.
Wow. And so I'm Not Crazy. The premise for the book is that people who are imprisoned, who are locked in their minds, but they don't want anybody to think that they're crazy. How does the plot for the story come into light for you?
Well, the plot is about a homeless man suffering with schizophrenia and drug abuse. So I believe that people do go through that journey as well. So I believe that everyone who reads this can take away to look at homeless people and people who go through that in a more positive light.
Mm-hmm. And so what about the research that you did on the book, and where does the idea come from?
I did a lot of research every single day, as much as I could. And I got the idea in my psychology class. I took a psychology class junior year of high school, and I just fell in love with it, and I ran with it. And I've just loved it from then on.
What did you love about psychology? What drew you to it?
I just find that the brain is absolutely fascinating.
Mm-hmm. And were you looking around at the homeless population and kind of wondering maybe what was going on in their mind?
Yes, I actually went to New York for my 18th birthday last year. And since my novel takes place in New York, I got to really immerse myself in that sort of culture.
Mm-hmm. And what was your takeaway? Because being in New York is like being nowhere in the world, especially from Alexandria, Louisiana. What did you notice about their homeless population?
It was definitely a lot larger than in Alexandria.
Mm-hmm. And when you looked at them and you saw probably a whole world that looked like homelessness, where did that take you in terms of the psychology of it and wondering about those people?
It definitely gave me a lot of new ideas for my novel, and I just felt, sorry for them, really sorry for everybody.
And how long does it take you to write the book, and how do the ideas for each chapter keep unfolding in your mind?
It took me about a year to write the book, and every time that I would sit down on my laptop and I would just go through the research and go through my notes that I would take every day, and sometimes I would even dream about it, and the ideas would just keep coming.
And so when you started selling the book, what were people telling you? What were some of the big takeaways that people were telling you about the book?
Everybody was so shocked that someone this young and this like at this level in my life that I would write about something so deep, and everybody loved it, and they were so shocked and fascinated with it.
And so how old are you, Savannah?
I'm 18. I'm going to be 19 this month.
And so what are your hopes for this book? What would you like to see it do?
I would just like to see it sell many more copies and change the lives of everybody.
And so what do you want to do? You're a freshman at LSUA. What do you want to do after you finish your degree in communications?
Hopefully, I want to go into speech pathology and hopefully write many more books along the way.
And for people who want the book and want to read the novel, I'm Not Crazy, how can people connect with the book?
It's on Amazon too. So you can find it on Amazon, and it's on Southern Chic website. It's sold in the store.
Okay. And so for those people who are dealing with mental illness and who don't want people to think that they're crazy, like your title suggests, what is a big takeaway for people who are struggling, whether they're schizophrenic or not, in your mind about, hearing those voices that we really all hear?
I think this puts mental illness afflicted people in a new perspective. And my takeaway is that I hope that everybody who reads this novel can see them in a positive light and see that they're really not crazy.
There you go. Savannah, we wish you the best of luck. I bet you're going to be an amazing speech pathologist, and we can't wait for your novels to show up on the New York Times bestseller list. Thank you so much, and the best of luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Indeed. Savannah Ward, the book again, I'm Not Crazy. Stay on point. We're back with more after this.